I don't even think I know how to film a full-length video anymore. It's been like a month.
Spoiler alert. Do not blame me if you have not watched these and you have been spoiled.
Hi, I'm Colleen and I'm a person. I like to read and I like to write, but I do whatever on this channel, and today I thought I would admit that I have not been reading the past month, I want to say. Then I haven't been writing either because I have been watching anime. I am going to have to ask you to allow me some sort of mercy, because this is not a trapdoor that I fall through often. You are going to have to forgive pronunciation. Of course, my opinions will not be as elevated. I find that when I do fall into this rabbit hole, I tend to like watch one after the other, and that's what happened to me the past month. And so let's get into it. The first anime that I watched was Real Life, and I think that this is the reason that I watched one after the other, because I liked this anime so much. For me personally, I just thought it was really relatable. That quarter life crisis, that feeling of being like lost. These characters, they get a do-over essentially. They're young adults who are lost in life, and they get approached to participate in an experiment where they can repeat high school. And it sort of deals with like retrieving a certain perspective that you may have lost because life just beat it out of you. And I think we've all had that feeling before. I think it's a really good anime. If you have not watched it, I think you should. If you are experiencing some sort of crisis, I think that it has a really good message. The third and fourth anime that I watched is Spy Family or Spy X Family, the first and second season. Of course, this anime is everywhere. It's very famous and a lot of people have watched it. Even the people who aren't anime fans have watched this anime because of Anya. I think it's just a really funny, chill anime that you can just pop on when you want to relax. It's Spy Family. Watch it. The fifth anime that I watched was, after being rejected, I shaved and took in a high school runaway. That was a mouthful. Of course, they're adapted from like light novels and mangas, but a lot of them explain the premise in the title. I'm pretty sure I read that there's a reason for this. Since the market is really like, there's a lot of options, you have to capture the attention of the readers or the viewers right from the off. And sometimes they're not really keen on reading blurbs, so that's why there is that. I was surprised because it had a deeper message than you would expect from this sort of anime. Just because you are young, it doesn't mean that you have not experienced adult level hurt or challenges. This anime shows that. Of course, this is a controversial concept because the guy is a lot older than the high schooler and there's a romance. But I didn't really judge the story based on that. I do admit that it is a controversial concept, and there's this side that we might worry about the message that it is giving out to young people. But the thing with anime is that it's there's a genre for everything. Like, they have made it very genre specific, and everything is appropriately rated. If you are not an adult, do not watch it. While it is a sensitive topic, if you are an adult, you can sort of set that aside almost and look at another aspect of the story. I was going to say the same thing about Koikimo. It's sort of like the same concept. The girl is a lot younger than the guy, but if you put that aside, the story is really like light and humorous. It could have worked even if it wasn't like an age gap story. I think it still would have been effective because it was a really funny script. The next one is Kiss Him Not Me. It's one of the anime that I watched that I literally was laughing out loud. This girl, she is an otaku and she sort of finds herself in this reverse harem thing where everyone falls in love with her. I'm just going off of what I feel. I'm not here to fight, and I'm just saying it's really funny. The next ones are Love is Hard for Otaku, and of course the special. Why are specials separate? Is what I want to know. Because most of the time they're just continuations of the story. Is it because they want to release it later, at a later time, or they didn't have enough time to include it in a specific season? Is that the reason? I do not know. I am asking for an expert help. They get together early in this show, and it's a very chill show actually. There's not much like drama involved. It's just two otakus who get together because they don't have to hide their interests from each other, and I don't know, it's really sweet, really cute. Recovery of an MMO junkie, and of course the special. Again, this is one of those relatable ones. I don't know if I'm just having a crisis. She experiences some work trauma, so she's like, I didn't experience anything good from the world, so I'm just gonna not engage with anyone, and I'm just going to play games at home by choice. And that's what she does. Somehow she finds love online playing a game. And if you don't like anime where almost half of the story happens in the virtual world, of course there are scenes where they meet up in real life, but yeah, it's sort of split between the two worlds. And if you are not fond of that kind of concept, this might not be for you, but it's really cute. The art is different, but I really still liked it. The next one is Romantic Killer, and this is one of my top ones. I think you can still watch this on Netflix, and it's one of those laugh out loud ones because she's anti-romance, but she gets roped into this reverse harem thing because this magic potato wants her to find love, but she doesn't want it because all she wants is chocolate and video games and her cat, which a lot of you may relate to. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. The next one is I'm the Villainess, So I'm Taming the Final Boss. And one thing I have to say about this anime is the love interest's voice actor has such a good voice. He's got references because I saw on the app that he had some kind of fan club over there because he has the best voice. A true gift from heaven. I think his name is Umehara, and yeah, I think he has such a nice voice. She gets reincarnated into the villain of the story, and she is meant to die, so she does a number of things so that she can avoid dying. I really enjoyed it. Again, I'm basing off of feelings. So the next one is The Ancient Magus' Bride. This is the most visually appealing anime that I have seen, and it sort of has these smaller stories within the bigger story. They have these adventures. I'm gonna start from the beginning. This girl, she has a special ability which allows her to see magical creatures. Because of that, she is not well accepted in the human world. So she's sort of been tossed around until she decides to auction herself off because she doesn't really want to live anymore. And she gets purchased by this masked man. First of all, if you are going to watch this in the hopes that the masked magician is going to take off his mask and it's going to be like a Beauty and the Beast sort of stuff, don't watch it because he is not going to take off the mask. You would be surprised because I was actually like feeling all the feels with this anime, even though you're sort of left looking for the tiniest like twitch from this guy because it's all behind a mask, quite literally. But yeah, when they start living together, because, you know, he bought her, which is questionable, but we're gonna let that slide, they sort of form a bond because, you know, they're family now and stuff. Basically, they go on these magical adventures and they try to, like, master the girl's power without, like, endangering the girl. Did I say too much? I'm pretty sure that's in the blurb as well. What do you call a blurb for anime? Is it also called a blurb, or is that just books? I don't know. But anyway, also there are a lot of, like, profound moments. I'm going to be a total spoiler about this, but when that dragon turns into a tree, I'm telling you, I was full on sobbing, snot everywhere. It has a very, very meaningful concept. And obviously, this is a very basic explanation of it, but the story is more nuanced than that, so watch it if you want to watch it. The next one is Science Fell in Love, so I tried to prove it. I didn't like this one. If you liked it, I'm sorry. Let's have a difference in opinions and let us respect them. But I didn't like it because since I live and breathe the romance genre, I do not like incidents where they build up to a climactic situation and then it becomes anticlimactic because you talked it to death, which is what happens repeatedly in this anime. Basically, they're a bunch of scientists, and once the girl admits to her feelings for the guy, they try to prove it scientifically. And although there are funny moments in this anime, romantic moments that are supposed to give you the feels will not give you the feels, because before they actually do anything, they talk everything to death. The next one is Inspector. It has some romance in it, but it's a mystery, sort of spooky mystery show. There's this girl, there's this itty bitty girl who becomes the almost the goddess, I think, of magical creatures. And there's this boy who is also magical, but sort of in a scary way, and once they get together, they sort of solve these magical mysteries. But I didn't like it for a number of reasons. Not that I'm not interested in mysteries, but the first 3 episodes covers one mystery, okay? And the rest of the episodes get devoted to this one case that they covered, which I think there's an imbalance there, because if you are going to say that she is the goddess of, like, she's the avatar of communicating with magical creatures, I would have liked different cases rather than one mystery eating up all the episodes, if that makes sense. Also, on the romance aspect, and I gotta say something about this, I'm not fond of guys who are almost inconvenienced. He was almost inconvenienced. He seemed inconvenienced by the girls' presence, almost. Like, they're together. They were already together, and he's like, if I could break up with you, I would do that. Or something akin to that. And I'm not here for it. That's also the reason why I, again, tried and failed to watch Wolf Girl and Black Prince, because I'm not fond of, like, a girl acting as a maid or something just to beg for affection from this ass. Anyway, got heated, but that's why I didn't like it romance-wise, but mystery-wise, it wasn't much either. Okay, so the next one is Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, and the colors of this anime, fantastic. I think next to actually they're great in different ways. The Ancient Magus' Bride is visually appealing, but Hanako-kun, the anime itself, the colors are so vibrant, and I think what I was missing in Inspector, I found in Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, because they covered a lot of different mysteries. And basically, you know how there are spooky stories in every school? I've seen this in several anime. So I think that it's a staple in like the Japanese culture. And they call it the Seven Wonders. If you are Japanese, several anime have already mentioned this, but it's called the Seven Wonders, and basically it's like urban legends in your school. I don't know why there are always seven, but basically for Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, he was one of the Seven Wonders in the school, and him and his love interest, after a number of unanticipated circumstances, strike a deal that she would assist him in managing these wonders. And chaos ensues. Basically, they sort of attract trouble almost, and they find themselves constantly getting pulled into these different worlds within the school, if that makes sense. You would see like how beautiful it is right from the off, so I don't even have to sell it to you because it's beautiful. Okay, so the next one is the Saint's magic power is omnipotent. Sorry, there are a lot of cars because it's morning. This is why I don't like filming in the morning. And the fan's on as well because I don't want to die. I love a strong hero. This is isekai, by the way. Actually, a lot of this is isekai. Isekai is basically like a person getting pulled into a different world. I told you they're very genre specific. Each niche concept has its own genre. I think there's even one for like wanting a chilled life. There's a genre for that. They're that specific. So she gets pulled into this magical world where she is supposed to be like a saint, which basically means that she has to defeat the evil energy in the land. But the problem is that there were two of them. There was only supposed to be one, and two of them got summoned. And so they sort of were rude to her and disregarded her, but it turns out she was the powerful one. Of course, there's this guy who does not suck, but she is still more awesome than the guy, and I like how she sort of
her powers whenever she gets worried about the guy.
You get it. I liked it. It's a good show. And again, these magical worlds that they create in anime, beautiful. I want to stay there. I want to live there. So the next three, Snow White with the red hair. I have had this on my list for like 5 years, and I just recently watched it. And it is a very long watch because there's 2 seasons and a special. Again, this is a great world to sort of immerse yourself in. One thing that I've learned in anime is that girls with red hair are a gift from God. Like redheads, Jesus loves you. Because it's always a redhead that is the special, powerful character. I've seen it like several times. The Ancient Magus' Bride is like that. Snow White with the red hair is like that. Yona of the Dawn is like that. Snow White with the red hair, a prince sort of tries to force her into marriage because she has very unique red hair. And she runs away because hell no. And she encounters another prince, a neighboring prince, and they sort of fall in love and have adventures. That's a very vague way to put it. It's very long, and as you know, with these longer anime, they sort of go through a lot of stuff, and there's not really a general explanation other than that. But anyway, they have adventures. It's also one of those anime where they get together early. They sort of navigate like how to preserve the purity of their relationship, even though he's a prince and they have responsibilities, and she has dreams too, obviously. And yeah, Bed and Breakfast for Spirits, that is my next one. I don't really know how to explain it. It's about food. It's an isekai, great world, they have an inn for spirits. This girl, she gets lured into the magical world to be a bride because she has been sold as collateral for debt. And to avoid marrying the head innkeeper or something, she offers to work on the grounds, opening up an eatery. She's very talented in making food. For some reason, the way she cooks is very appealing to the magical creatures. And again, they have adventures, but food always plays a big part in the relationships that are formed and the adventures that they have. It's a very good message about the importance of food in our lives, even though it's often overlooked. A blurb could never, I'm not even explaining this well, but it's about food, it's about magical creatures, and he's very sweet. The next one is Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. I think this is a better way to infuse science. Basically, it's about teen angst. And these students, once they experience emotional turbulence, these complexes that they develop, it sort of manifests physically. And they basically solve it with science, with scientific concepts. There's a big emotional aspect, but they try to hypothesize the solutions through scientific concepts, if that makes sense. I know that sounds not what you were expecting from Bunny Girl Senpai. I know that I wasn't expecting it because the poster looked like it was a funny anime because it's a girl in a bunny costume. It's a good show. It does get a bit heavy in some episodes, but yeah. I think they offset it with like the romance aspect and the humorous aspect as well. Because the main guy, he sort of has dry humor. This is one of the anime where they get together early as well, which you might like. The next one is Yona of the Dawn, and this is my best love interest of all the anime that I watched. I mean, so far. I love Hak. Then that's the name of the love interest in this story. And Yona of the Dawn, again, a red-headed princess, gets betrayed by a crush who was very important to her. And that crush steals the throne and sort of chases her out and kills her dad. I should have led with kills her dad. But anyway, only Hak, the guy, comes with her. Hak is a general, a warrior. He has sworn to protect her, and so they leave and they travel in search of these dragon warriors because it is said that Yona, our main gal, has a connection with them. She enlists the help of these dragon warriors to save the kingdom. And it's a great story, not too heavy, not too light. It's a great adventure to follow because obviously they pick up all these people along the way. They don't really show up at the same time. I think this is a great treatment for reverse harem because they don't really ignore the story. It's reverse harem but with a story. It's not all fan service, which I like. There's a bigger picture to it. And, watch it, because she has red hair, and she's special. Okay, so the next ones, Fruits Basket 1, 2, and 3 season. I have a bone to pick with everyone who listed this anime under rom-com. You guys did me so dirty. Not to say that it's not a good show, but it was heavy. It was not as light as people made it out to be. Basically, there's this rich-ass family who have connections to the animals in the zodiac calendar. They're very bound to their customs according to the zodiac. And basically, they take in this girl, the protagonist, and asks her to live with them because she was living in a tent due to a series of unfortunate events. And she sort of gets exposed to all the damage that these people have experienced from their parents who are very set in their customs and their ways, and as a result traumatized all these children. And for some of the Zodiac members, it had a severe effect, which started almost a chain of like hurt. And there's so much hurt in this family, and the protagonist is a ray of sunshine basically, and she works her way healing everyone basically. It's very profound, great message, great ending, but some of the things that happened were quite traumatic and quite brutal as well. The bird is like taunting me outside. It's literally like taunting me. Maybe it's asking why I'm not asleep yet. My Next Life as a Villainess, Season 1, Season 2, and the special. This is textbook reverse harem. They are all severely in love with the main character, and it's sort of similar, a similar concept to I'm the Villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. She remembers her past life as a human girl and realizes that she has been reincarnated as a villain in the game that she used to play when she was human before her untimely death. So she uses the fragments of her memory to avoid these doom flags. As a result of this, she sort of raised these other characters to be like better than their original character design. They all fall in love with her basically because she was so nice to them, and not to say that she wasn't sincere about it, because she was, but yeah, I guess it's like a 2-for-1 thing. What I'm watching now is one, Tomo-chan is a girl, which is underwhelming so far, but it's Friends to Lovers. The second one is the ice guy and his cool female colleague. They have a feel-good moment at work, like a romantic moment, and then he freaks about it at his house, and then he comes back to work and it happens all over again. And the next one, I've already finished the first season, but I'm still about to watch the second season, Sounds of Life, and I'm loving it so far. It's about a club who plays koto. It's a Japanese instrument. Those are all the anime that I watched the past 3 weeks or a month. I'm sorry that I have not been reading or writing. I will get back into it once I climb out of this rabbit hole that I'm in, but for now I'm very much enjoying watching anime, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment if you want to, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.